hey, we're back, guys. I'm Nick, and this is Nay, and we are here for Millennial Madness. I know you missed us. I know
Yes,
you
they
missed
had
us.
to have missed us. They had to have. How can you not miss
Absolutely,
us?
because we're
Yes.
fabulous. New hair, new season, new thoughts, new topics. Are
Yes,
y'all
it's
ready for
gonna be
this?
wild. It's gonna be so wild. I'm so excited though. I'm glad to be back. Like I know the anticipation has been there. When are we coming back and stuff like that? But we're here. So we're about to get down to a all new breaking topic. But before we get to that, Nick, you have something to say about our little sabbatical?
That it was just that, a little sabbatical. We had to take a step back,
Mhm.
regroup, refresh. There's a lot going on in the world, and as we talk about on our podcast, Families First, and we had to get that in order. So now we're back. We're ready to do it. Are you ready
Yes.
to do it? I'm ready to do it.
Yep, let's go ahead and get into it. So basically, today we're going to be covering a topic that should hit home to the majority of our listeners. If you don't know, lately in the media, the big spectacle has been, what are we going to do with COVID in relation to school? Now, you guys know that both myself and my sister both have children, young children. So this is a battle that we're facing right now. So today on this episode, we're going to unpack that, talk about some of the things that we're going through, talk about some things to consider, and just hopefully create dialogue and give somebody some clarity who might be wondering what to do in this situation. So Nick,
Okay.
tell me, so what are your thoughts? First off, let's talk about the overall view. What's your overall take on this COVID issue in relation to school?
Well, in full transparency, this is why I'm wearing a wig right now, because all my edges, all my scalp, everything has just been snatched and uprooted due to this situation. Now, let me just be clear, my children will not be going back in person to school in the fall. They will be homeschooled until further notice. But that's my choice. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's my choice. I prefer not. We have too many of them. They'll pass it on to everybody, and it'll keep on passing around. And I only have two hands. So I
Mm-hmm.
just, we got to mitigate how we can mitigate from home. Now, if you have a different option or different choice, by all means, do what works for you. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord in the house.
I know
Amen.
that's right.
Amen.
Amen. I mean, look, let me tell you, at this current time, I am I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of in the middle about it. I'm leaning more on the end of out my children staying home, only because this is coming from a former teacher's perspective.
Right.
A lot of my viewers don't know. Before all of this happened, and before I'm working the job that I'm working now, I used to be a teacher. I went to school for teaching. I was in the classroom for 2.5 years teaching various grades, and so I know what kind of goes into it. I know the ins and out, how difficult it is sometimes to manage everything. Let me tell y'all something. Like, okay, let me talk about the teacher side, and then I'll go into the parenting side of it. On the teacher side, it takes a lot of
Yes.
classroom management to manage 20 plus kids in a given setting, not including if you have 2 or 3 classes. Okay. So I understand people are talking about, oh, phase 1 is virtual. Phase 2, we're going to do like a half day, half split, half this. Listen,
Yep.
it's some teachers out here. Now, granted, some of them are good. Some of them have it down pat. They've been teaching for a long time. They got them at the down, but there are other teachers out there who are not that,
Proficient.
they're not that proficient. It's I've seen in the school systems where teachers have done things to cover their backs.
Mm.
Policy says clean the classrooms every hour. Policy says go in and make sure the kids are 6 feet apart. Go in and make sure they're not going in the bathroom at the same time. Not doing this, not doing that. I know for a fact that there are teachers out there, and it's not bashing teachers because it is a hard job. It's a very hard job. But
Yes.
I know for a fact there are teachers out there that cannot balance that. It does not
Yep.
make them bad teachers. It doesn't make
Yep.
them less of a teacher. But I know for a fact that there are teachers that cannot handle the workload that is coming with these CDC guidelines. And
Oh,
for
it's not
that
even
reason,
possible.
it's not reason. And for that reason alone, that has me on the no side. You feel what I'm saying? That is why. It's because I don't know who my child's next teacher is going to be. I don't. We're new
Yeah.
to a district. You know, I don't have a lot of pull in there. I know what I should be looking for, but at the same time, I don't know who her teacher is. I don't know nothing
Yeah.
about this broad. Nothing.
Yeah.
This lady, this wonderful lady. I don't know anything about her. So it's like for me,
Or bro, you know. You
our
don't know.
bro, I don't know anything about them. And so for me, it's like, I need to see your resume. Like, let me know what your track sheet is, because right now I'm not in a position to be gambling my child's life
Yeah.
over COVID.
Yeah.
No,
No, absolutely
that's
not.
no.
Absolutely not. I mean, and the same here. You know, it's really hard to let me back up. Virtual learning in the fall on at a last minute notice. I just want to give all the kudos to all the educators out there, because let me tell you something. Y'all are superheroes.
Right.
I enjoy mentoring. I enjoy training. I've trained in, previous roles. I love communication and connecting with people. But what I do not enjoy is teaching. It's just not my gift.
Mm-hmm.
That is a gift. Okay. And to come up with curriculum to keep kids engaged, to follow up with all the rules and guidelines, and I know the pressure that's coming from the district, quick last minute changes, that is not easy. Okay. And still manage your own home while dealing with COVID and the lockdowns and all that stuff. Look, kudos to you. You have
Right.
my utmost respect and applause. And I can't even imagine having to do that in person. Like
Right.
it's already, and not only is, let's not even just talk about the just regular standard going back to school. Let's talk about the fact that these kids have had unstructured time for at least half a year now.
Mm-hmm.
That means reintroducing routines. That means catching those up that have fallen behind, slowing those, not slowing them down, but keeping those that are ahead
Remediation.
engaged,
Yeah. Yeah.
while still worrying about the middle, like three or four different learning groups. Let's
Mm-hmm.
not to mention those with disabilities that need special accommodations. Where are they happening? Like, there's no way to gauge what your child will be learning, what level your child will be learning, and how all of that is going to be managed, all while trying to keep kids 6 feet apart.
Yeah. And see, that's the
Numbers of
thing.
kids.
And that's
I
the thing.
just,
I'm
I don't see it.
thankful. I'm thankful. I'm serious. I thank God that I'm in a position to be able to say that I probably won't be sending my child to school in person. I'm thankful that I can say that, but my heart goes out to those people who don't have
Yes,
that option. You
don't
know what
have
I
that
mean?
choice.
And I feel like for any parent who has the opportunity to be able to have their child at home virtually, please take that opportunity, because they need room for the people who don't have a choice.
Yeah, say
For the
that.
people
Say
who
it for the
don't have
ones
a
in the
choice.
back. This
So,
is about equity right here.
and that's
This
what I
is this is
mean.
about equity. Making sure that those that maybe don't have that level up that you have, at least gets the chance. That person can at least go to work. That person can. Childcare is expensive.
Yes, it is.
Personal tutors are expensive.
Amen.
Homeschooled teachers are expensive. And sometimes public school, been there, is all you can afford. And
Mm-hmm.
if there's no public school option because all the classrooms are full, what are you going to do? So
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't even think about that angle. But yes, this is from an equity standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
being inclusive, being equitable about how we're approaching and thinking through this whole going back to school situation. This is, it's, my heart bleeds. What about those people that don't have the technology, that
Mm-hmm.
had to mail in their work, or maybe their
Right.
parents didn't graduate from school,
And they
they can't
can't
even get
assist
the
them.
help.
And
you
that's the
know
thing. That's the thing. I
it's
just
a
feel
lot.
like it is so important that my person, now mind you, all this is my view, my opinion. My personal opinion is, if you have the option to keep your kid home, if you
Please.
have been blessed with the option to be able to be home with your child to help them from a virtual standpoint, please do that. It frees up the classroom for individuals who don't have that option. There are
Yes.
plenty of parents. I work with people who don't have
Yes.
that. They're like, I have no other choice, but I have to work. I'm a single
Yeah.
mom. I have to work. I have to go. I have to send my kids in there. So I'm just going to, me personally, be selfish and say, oh, I don't want to deal with her today, you know. So go to school, go to school, go to school. And I have that option to keep her home, have that option to have her in a virtual environment, to be able to nurture her and things like that. And I just choose not to because, oh, I need a break. Oh, I had you for 6 months. I need a break. No, that's selfish. That's selfish. And like I said, all of those things will alleviate some of the pressure on the teacher. Like I said, we're
Yeah.
not talking about grades.
And your kids,
Oh
because
Lord,
it's
on
it's going to
grades.
be hard on them too. It's
It
going to be
is.
really hard. It's a hard situation
It
all
is.
around. And again, do what you feel is best for you and your family.
Mm-hmm.
What we're talking about is possibly looking at a different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
because coming from a former educator, coming from someone that works in the educational field, these are real challenges. I have friends that are teachers that are scared to death to go back and have to send their kids back,
Mm-hmm.
wishing that they can leave their kids at home.
Yeah.
And also there are those parents that need that break. Look, not knocking it. If you can do it, keep them. If you can't, let them go. I'm just saying, keep in mind that decision, that there is a serious equity problem in this reopening for the schools. And
Right.
again, we're not saying either option is bad. We're not saying either option is better than the other. We're just saying, think of it with a broader lens
Mm-hmm.
on that impact. So let's move on to so something that came to mind with COVID and school and all the things. I've realized, I saw this on I don't know what channel this was on, but they talked about how traditional household roles
Mm-hmm.
have returned because, you know, uh, the kids are home.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of moms, predominantly moms, are having to shoulder that load.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas those two-parent incomes, those two-parent households, especially with the unemployment, that balance of, well, I have to stay. My
Right.
kids, who is helping my kids with schoolwork? Who's keeping
Mm-hmm.
this house running? There's no daycare.
Right.
There's no school. There's no, there's no. Somebody has to step up. And oftentimes the men have the higher paying jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And though it's not what they previously thought would happen or what they wanted to happen, it just
Mm-hmm.
so happened to be that we are sliding back into traditional roles. And
Right.
that is a heavy lift because we're not living in traditional times.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear your input, Nay, on that shift and trying to do work and house and school and
Look,
all the stuff.
let me tell you something. It's a struggle bus. You might as well buckle me up and wave at me because
There's
I'm on that
there are
bus
no
riding
seatbelts
on.
on my bus. Let me
I'm
just tell you, we
serious.
just we
I'm
just
on
bob
the
our head
struggle
and on down the
bus.
street. That's just
I'm
what
on
it
the
is.
struggle bus with that. And let me tell you why. Because I have always been a person that I personally like to be a hands-on mom. I just like to be that hands-on mom. However, sometimes when you have operated so long in a way in which, okay, so from 8 to 4, my kids are
Yeah.
here, and then here and here and here. And then all of a sudden that 8 to 4 is gone away. I got 8 hours that I have to be accountable for 8 hours that I didn't previously have to be accountable for. And
Mm.
so it's like for me,
Yeah.
hey, look, every day I wake up,
Yes.
I just be like, it's
I
hard
love
out here for a
you.
pimp. It's hard out here for a pimp. That's how I feel.
Ah, no.
It's hard out here because it's like, at the same time, and I want to touch on the mental side of it because of course you can wake up, fix your kids breakfast, blah, 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 blah. But mentally it takes a toll
Whew.
because it's like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, I can't, well, I was going to say sit on the toilet, but I can't take a bath without,
You
like my
can't
norm is messed
fight.
up right now, and I just feel like for me, it is more so critical now. It is very critical for me to have that 5-minute break. At
Ooh.
least 5, at least 5.
Woo.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's it.
Yes.
At least 5, at least a 5-minute break. And let me tell you why, because if I don't,
Mm.
I literally feel like Like I just start feeling like, the red temperature going all the way up my head. That's how I feel. I have to have that break because at this point I'm on overload. I'm on overdrive right now. And it's
Yes.
hard. And although it is a traditional role, it's a role that I haven't 100% had to
Mm-mm.
I haven't had to do it in a long time. I haven't had to visit this since I was a stay-at-home mom. So, although
Even then was different. Even then
it
was different
is,
because we're
I
working.
mean,
It's not just staying at home. It's
right,
working and staying at home,
yeah,
and it's a lot of. There's no separation.
right.
There's. I can't count the times that I've literally just sat in my driveway, closed the door in my car, or sat in my garage.
Mm-hmm.
No lights, just music, maybe no music, and just sat there and contemplated my life.
Yeah.
Why? Because there were no children around. There was no mommy, mommy, mommy,
Mm-hmm.
wifey, wifey, wifey. You know, there was no pull at me. There was no, I'm just sitting there listening to some Marvin Gaye,
Mm-hmm.
get
Not
me a
Marvin
little,
Gaye.
oh, what's going on?
Yep.
What's going on? Sometimes you
Right.
got to sing it to yourself and just to understand
Not looking
what
in the
is going
sky.
on.
Not looking in
What
the
is going
sky.
on? You just, look, no, seriously though, mental health
Yeah.
is, whew,
Mm-hmm.
it is a booger, especially when there is no separation from
Yeah.
morning until night. From the morning, from the time you open your eyes, there is a lit. I literally, my husband jokes when he wakes up, he's just like, "Whoop, I'm up. Time to start the
Mm-hmm.
day." For me, no, I that little colorful wheel that circles. That's
Mm-hmm.
me. I loading,
Yeah.
loading,
Yeah.
loading, because it's literally downloading the to-do list in my mind of what I have to do today
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
work, during work, after work, and at night. Like we're doing this. It, everybody's in bed.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
And
it's a labor of
honestly,
love.
I've gotten to the place where how you lay on the couch, you're like, hey, go lay down, come sit up, go do this. Hey, come here, no, come here. Hey, no, wait, lay down, come here. Hey, no cereal, no. Hey, marshmallow, sure. Hey, no. That's where
Look,
I'm at with it. I'm literally at that place. But
you
in all
good.
transparency, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I enjoy it, but sometimes with this whole school shift, it takes
Mm,
strain on you, and it's something that I'm learning to balance. It's something that I'm learning to say, you know what, it's okay.
yeah.
It's all right. It's okay. I'm gonna manage it how I can manage it the best way I can. My kids ain't dead, they ain't sick, they well nourished, they loved, and they fed. Like I don't at this point we here and we're gonna
Yep.
do however we need to do it,
But
And
also,
so
it's about training them to be able
it
to do it
is.
themselves because
Yeah.
that has liberated me. Look,
Yeah.
let me tell you what is a blessing in my heart and in my soul. Okay, when I come downstairs and I hear that clickety clack clack of those dishes getting scrubbed, I hear that vacuum cleaner just down the hallway. It blesses me in ways
Yeah.
I cannot explain, and because it's you have so much.
You really, really
Hey,
do.
you have so much. And my kids are at the age where everybody has a role. They know the house needs to be cleaned
Yeah.
by the time I'm off of work. It just has to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, because the majority of the mess is
It's
from
y'all.
you.
Yeah.
It's your mess.
Yeah.
It's your mess. And I am one person and I'll feed you. I will change your diaper. I will put food on your table. I will do help you with your schoolwork. I will take you where you need to go. I will enroll you in this. Make sure you
Yeah.
have tutoring. Make sure you all get clothed. Everything. What I cannot do is clean up behind multiple children
Yeah.
that are fully capable of cleaning up behind themselves. That has liberated me.
Yeah.
I tried to do it all. It's not possible. I'm one person.
So with this COVID shift and with this education system, how are you going to implement that side of their independence in schoolwork, as well as I'm going to get my homework done?
Oh, everybody has a schedule. There's an alarm clock. All right. There's an alarm clock in their room. And they know when you get up, this is what you need to do. You get yourself together, brush your teeth, comb your hair, get dressed for the day, get ready, go eat your breakfast that you
Mm-hmm.
know how to prepare. They have several meals that they're able to prepare for themselves. both with the stove and without. With
Mhm.
with the stove is with the older one, and it's literally nothing that they can burn down. I'm supervising,
Mhm.
and then after that, they know whatever needs to be cleaned, that is a priority. Why? Because by the time we get to the schoolwork portion, and I'm tired, I'm hungry, I need a nap, I don't want to hear all that. This
Mhm.
house needs to be cleaned first so that we can have proper order and have a proper place for everything. And
Right.
then we can all focus and do what you need to do for schoolwork. Because by that time, I've gotten a good chunk of work in. I'm at least
Mhm.
at lunchtime by then. So
Right.
I've gotten my work out of the way that has to be time sensitive. It has to be um, there has to be quiet time around it. But and by the afternoon time, any of those tasks that I can do while still multitasking, or that I can do when they're asleep, that's when schoolwork begins. So that I'm able to be fully present with you. We're both able to be fully present with each
Right.
other. Let me clarify, because you've gotten your job done in the morning. I've gotten most of my job done as well, and we can both learn this stuff together. It's the
Yeah.
only way it's been able to work,
And
because
see,
without structure,
and
it's
that's the
it's you
thing.
can't.
That's one key takeaway that I hope people do take out of this, that if you are deciding to do a virtual situation, you do need to consider structure. That's the only way it's going to work. Like,
Yeah.
this is not like, she's just going virtual, wake up when you want to come and, do what you want to do and we'll get to it.
Mm-mm.
No, there has to be a structured place, because guess what? Believe it or not, one of these years, like, you're going to have to send your kids back to school. If you're that parent that's, in a public setting, you got to send these kids back to school. There has to be a level of structure that continues. Set a schedule. Google whatever you need to Google to make
Yep.
sure that there is a structured schedule for those kids.
There's
And
so
for
many
the ones
schedules out
that don't, you need to make sure there's still a schedule for the ones that are actually going to school. When you come home, take your clothes off, get into, you need to make sure that that's a schedule as well. And that's the only way with time management that this whole situation is going to work. And so
there.
I think that, although the government is pushing, you got to reopen, you got to reopen, you got to reopen, schools got to get open. As an individual parent, there are ways around things that you can still get your things done without having to appease to the pressures around you. And that's one of the things. Go virtual, set yourself a schedule, and do what you need to do. And for the parents that have to send their kids to school, get yourself a schedule as well. When I pick these kids up, this, and this needs to happen to make sure that they're safe, to make sure
Yep.
that they're clean, to make sure that they're sanitized, to make sure homework is done, and just get yourself in order in that way. And so, I mean, like I say, at the end of the day, this school situation is
It's hard.
it's hard, is looming over my head right now. I'm trying to look into the best virtual school. I don't want this to be no knick-knack paddywhack type situation where she just on this
No
little
bones.
knick-knack patty cake type situation. I want her to learn. And you just kind of got to do what's best for you in this time. And at
Yep.
the end of the day, if you make the wrong decision, you send them to school, something happens, I should have sent them virtual. You go virtual, I should have sent them to school. Guess what? At the end of the day, everybody's making the best educated decision that they can make at this time. This is
You
something
can
that is
always
not
change your
common.
mind. You
It's
can
not common. You
always
can
change your mind.
always change your mind and say, you know what, regroup. This didn't work. Let's try this.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I think that's what people
Exactly.
need to keep in mind. And so, and one thing too, I
Yeah.
want to touch before we, kind of wrap this up, is the pressures of what other people are doing. Please, I see so many threads of people talking about, well, I'm not sending my kids to school because, and I can hear the organ in the background because they preaching and da-na-na and da-na-na because of that, da-na-na and all of that stuff. And then I hear people in the background talking about, well, I'm sending my kids to school because we got to get these kids in school and blah, 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 da, 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 da. Please do not be pressured by any side, because there's a whole lot of people talking.
Yep.
Your fingers could say one thing on the computer and they could be doing something completely different. So
Yep.
please take those opinions as a grain of salt. Because just
Yep.
like they said, my kid has to go to school, because how in the world are they going to learn? Virtual
You
school.
can learn. You can
You
learn. You
don't know
can
what people
learn.
are doing.
Look,
You
and
don't know.
also, you do not have to set your schedule based off of the schedule that you had as a kid. Look,
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you something. If there's a day, like I'm working late and I'm tired, all right, switch that thing up. You know, do your schoolwork at night. If morning works better for you, do your stuff in the morning, do your chores or whatever else you need to do at night. If inverse for us, it works best to get those things done in the morning, so that in the afternoon they still have time to play while the
Mm-hmm.
sun is up. We still have time to do schoolwork. We have time to engage before dinner. That works for us. But if that does not work for you, and also if you go to work and come home and your child still needs to go to learn, there is nothing wrong with teaching them
Mm-hmm.
at night. There
Yep.
is no hard rule. Let me tell you, breakfast for dinner is the best dinner
Oh
ever.
man,
We
sausage at
love it.
night.
We love it. Why? Because it just shakes it up. And
Right.
sometimes that's what you need. You don't
Yep.
need to have it just like everyone else has it. You can do it however way you want. You can make it fit however way you want your schedule. So just look,
Yeah.
there is no pressure, there is no shame in your walk, your journey as a person, as a parent,
Mm-hmm.
as a non-parent. This goes for dog people, this goes for cat people, this go whatever your schedule is in this time and in this season. If you're in school yourself, give yourself some grace. Set
Yep.
those boundaries. Give yourself some time to be able to figure out something that works out for you.
There's
There
no
is no
right
right or wrong
answer.
way.
Yep.
There's no
I
right or
agree.
wrong way. And so that's what we are here just as a refresher, because I know it's been a little while. We are
Mm-hmm.
here to share our experiences, to give our feedback, to give our opinions, and to have dialogue with you. We may not agree.
Mm-hmm.
We may not there may be things that we don't know, that we don't understand, and we are very open to learning and educating ourselves and all of those things and all of that. We're also human,
Yeah.
and we're just giving you our very real, very human experiences
Mm-hmm.
in hopes that people will feel comfortable to share their experiences,
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard out here, y'all.
It is.
And accountability and having someone in your corner to just talk to, that is invaluable. And that's what
Yes.
we're just talking. I
Yep.
love my sister. She is miles away from me, but I love her. And
Mm-hmm.
we having this connection and having this time together to just share our experiences as mothers, as wives, as parents, as employees, employers, and all the things. It is refreshing, and it is something that we're hoping to extend to
Mm-hmm.
you and your family. So
Yes.
we
Yes.
hope that you tune in to future videos. Check out
Yes.
our past videos. Check
Yes.
out all the videos in between. We would love to have you here. We love for you to subscribe, like, share, spread
Mm-hmm.
the word. Let's go on this journey together. We don't have,
Yes.
we don't have
Yeah.
a red table or nothing, but we got
No,
we
we got two screens and we're gonna just talk on the
we
two
got
screens right now. We're just
we
gonna
on a
talk on the two
budget.
screens. Yeah, we're on a budget right now. So we're gonna go
We
this
on a
way.
budget, but we getting there. Maybe one day we'll
Yeah.
have red shoes or orange hat, or I don't know. We'll have something
We'll figure it
trendy.
out. Yeah.
We'll
So
figure it out.
but yes, yes. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, we are so glad to be back. Expect new content, grow with us. If you've watched any of our videos from the beginning and look now, you've already seen growth. So just continue to grow with us, expand your mind, hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, anything you got for us, let us know. We're going to go ahead and sign out and close out for another episode. And this has been Millennial Madness.
So
Signing out.
go.